Hello, 390 Wagon Master here. Today we're going to take a look at the Cobra 142 GTL. This radio came out in the very late 70s, early 80s, and had about an 8-year production run up until the early 90s. This radio is kind of a sleeper radio, really. This shares the same internal PC board as the President Washington, which I'm sure a lot of people know about, and the realistic TRC 490. The 142, like I say, was kind of the sleeper. Somewhere along the line, some way, somehow, the Washington became more popular. I'm not really sure if it was because of marketing or just what back then, but anyway, these 142s are a very, very nice performing radio. AM, upper lower sideband, dual meters, SWR bridge, the whole works. Let's talk about that. First off, on the front panel, we have on-off volume control, squelch, our dynamic, which is basically mic gain. We have RF gain and SWR calibrate. We have the voice lock. That is Cobra's version of a clarifier. We have AM upper lower sideband switch here. We have A&L noise blanker on and off. We have CBPA switch. We have an SWR and modulation switch here. We have a red transmit indicator. We have a green receive indicator. Of course, our digital channel selector. We have a SWR and modulation meter, SRF, and power meter. So yeah, pretty nice. I think probably my favorite part to this is the forward firing speaker here. Front loaded forward firing speaker. You can hear people enunciate perfect. For a guy like me that's kind of hard of hearing, this is definitely a nice feature to have. Comes in a nice cabinet. I'm not really sure what this weighs in at. I'm going to assume it's probably around 6 to 8 pounds. So it's got a little heft to it, and that's pretty nice. Like I say, 5-pin mic connector here. Really nice, classic little radio. Now, understand these are about 40 years old now, right? A little over 40, and some of these will need a little bit of TLC, maybe an alignment, a tune-up, maybe some components upgraded. You know, the capacitors are starting to get a little old in these. I don't really think that's 100% necessary, but you know, if you get a hold of one of these, turn it on, operate it, and see how it works for you. When I look for one of these, I'm looking for a rig in really good cosmetic condition. Of course, that's going to cost you a little bit more, but I'll tell you why I like them in good cosmetic condition here in just a second. What I'm looking for is I don't want holes and switches in the tops, the sides, the back of it, underneath, or on the front. I want this thing to be as close to 100% bare bone stock as I can. The reason for that is when you see these switches mounted all over the place and different modifications, who knows who's been inside this radio and what kind of hack job they did. I mean, there's really no way to sugarcoat that. A lot of these radios by now get hacked up. So find one in good cosmetic shape, and I think that's going to be a good basis for a radio to restore, revive, and reuse and re-enjoy. These radios are known for being stable on upper lower sideband, meaning they're not drifting around, so you don't have to chase people with the clarifier who you're talking to, and they don't have to chase you around. That's really nice. Of course, they're known for the good audio or the good sound quality. Also, these have a really nice, very low noise floor. They're not a noisy radio, so if you're in a high static environment, once you hit that A&L noise blanker, you're going to be good to go. Let's demonstrate that. As you can see in here, I'm in a high noise area. Watch what happens when I kick in this noise blanker A&L. Here's the A&L. Takes it down about halfway. There's the noise blanker, and it finishes it off. That is a really important feature. Okay, this has a low noise floor, so there's not a lot of inherent static. So when you're trying to shoot some skip maybe, or talk to some stations that are quite a ways away from your home base station, you have more of a chance to pull those voices and those signals out with a radio like this, say versus like a modern Galaxy base station or Galaxy Mobile or a Ranger or something like that. You're just not going to get the audio quality and the selectivity and sensitivity that you're going to get with this radio. All right. Another thing too, these more modern radios, believe it or not, tend to drift around considerably more than this radio does. You find one of these in good cosmetic shape, take it to a competent technician, have him do an alignment on it, and you're going to have a radio that will give you stellar performance for many, many, many years to come, definitely. If you own, say, one of these newer radios, a Galaxy or a Ranger, something like that, and you're kind of not happy with the way the things drift around, try one of these. I think that'll definitely be a good addition to your radio collection. These are definitely worth collecting. Now, this is kind of the hidden gem or the sleeper out of the three radios that I mentioned, right? The 142, the Washington, and the Radio Shack TRC 490. Now, we're kind of in an inflated time here at the end of 2022 as far as inflated prices go, eBay prices and stuff on the internet for one of these 142s. But if you can, get one in good shape, and it might take a little time to get it, you can get one of these for $150 or so, give or take a little bit, maybe $50. I would definitely do it. If you're new to the CB radio game and you want a nice base station to kind of learn on, but still enjoy the hobby and not have to chase people around. I think this whole thing with the radios drifting on single sideband will turn a lot of newcomers off to single sideband, but you don't really need to put up with that. Get something like this and it'll take that edge off, right? Okay, so this radio is designed to work at 4 watts AM and 12 watts PEP on single sideband. I like to run these at about 3 watts on AM. It's kind of a little bit lower power. You get a little bit punchier audio because you're really not taxing the radio, not working the radio all that hard. You kind of want to save on the old finals in here and stuff. So 3 watts, 3.5 watts on AM, and 10 to 12 watts on single sideband. A rig like this will last you for quite a while. If you need more power, that's what they make linear amplifiers for. If you want more channels, well, you can add channels to these. It's kind of a weird setup, a little funky the way they bounce around. The upper channels will bounce around here. They're not channelized exactly like the 1 through 40 channels are on this one, but anyway, it can do it. If you have to have something that has 200 channels in it, well, then get one of the Galaxies. However, I will almost guarantee for normal talking at night amongst friends, your locals and stuff, I'm going to assume, and I know I do, I gravitate to more of a radio like this or the Cobra 2000 or something like that because they're nice and stable. You don't have to mess around with them. And I like that good, clean receiver that these radios have. Okay? All right. Well, if you have any questions or comments, please leave those down below. If you've not yet subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. Thank you. Thanks for watching.